Ciao, ciao! Sveiki! Are you wondering, is Russian and Latvian similar? So let's find out and explore the roots of both languages. What can we see in this fantastic picture? Latvian language is here and Russian is not too far away. They both belong to Indo European language family and both belong to the Baltic sub-branch of the Balto-Slavic branch of the family. How do I know that? So let's see the next picture. It is less fancy but more clear. Here we can clearly see that Latvian language is part of the Baltic language branch and where Russian is a bit more down and part of East Slavic group. What does it mean in real practical life? It means there are few similarities and lots of difference. And why is that? Probably because of the alphabet. I will show you a few examples of similarities and differences. Letters A, K, M, O, T are written and pronounced the same way. Letters B, G, D, Ž, Z, and others sounds exactly the same but written completely differently. In the Russian alphabet, there are two letters which by themselves don't make any sound unless added to other letters, and these are soft sound and hard sound. Where in Latvian language, letters A, E, I, and U sounds are prolonged. I guess by now you can clearly spot those obvious differences. So now let's compare some sentences in English to Latvian and Russian. Can you help me? Vai jūs varat man palīdzēt? Вы можете мне помочь? Or, where is railway station? Kur ir dzelzceļa stacija? Где находится железнодорожный вокзал? Apparent difference in sound and pronunciation, but some similarities in sentence structure. And let's see some similar words. In English, car, in Latvian, mašīna, in Russian, mašīna. Or word park, parks, park. Of a favorite food of lots of people, chocolate, chocolade, chocolate. And yes, extremely popular magical Russian swear words are too often used by native Latvian speakers. I would love to, but I can't share them on camera. What language is most similar to Latvian? Let's go back to gorgeous pictures of language families and see what is nearby Latvian language. And here we go, Lithuanian. The Lithuanian language is the most similar because it also belongs to the same Baltic language branch. So if you decide to learn Latvian, most probably you will understand some of Lithuanian language. Can you speak Russian in Latvia? Yes, definitely you can speak, and you must speak Russian language if you are planning to find a job in any customer service business, because this language is widely spoken around 40%, and if you're gonna call to immigration, if you're gonna call to any customer support call center, or maybe even have a live chat, most of places they often have Russian speaking customer assistant. Nevertheless, the second largest city, called Daugavpils, is spoken in Russian. If you will arrive to Daugavpils, in many restaurants, cafes, they still have Russian music playing there. And opposite than other cities in Daugavpils, it is difficult to find someone speaking Latvian. Of course, in Liepāja, which is quite a big city, and Jelgava, Latvian is more often to be found rather than in Riga or Daugavpils. So if you are planning to find a job in Latvia and you are planning to live in Daugavpils or Riga, you will need to know Russian. And what happens to many students? They are planning to come and study here, work here and live here. And one of the biggest barriers that they are facing, it is to find a job because there is no Latvian language, and for sure many Indians, Vietnamese don't know any Russian, which is must for most of the business, and they end up doing a low paid jobs like cleaner or fast food chain jobs, or there was an industry of casino before, but as I know from my friends, even to get casino job without Russian, it's not so easy. If you are planning to come in Latvia, make sure you have a good savings, or just be ready to work some jobs that you will not be able, that you might not plan. Or if you are IT specialist or you have really good specialization which is worldwide needed, then most probably you can also find a job. But even for some IT people, they need basic language of Latvian or Russian so they can communicate with other people who are working in their team. Why 40% of people are still speaking Russian? Because of the history, because of the roots. There was a time when USSR was here, Soviet Union times, where people had to speak Russian. And when everything dropped down, government change, rules change, languages change, but people sometimes don't change. And some of the people, they still didn't learn even basic Latvian language. Because some businesses have their roots here and still they need only Russian. Some banks, customer service jobs, they don't even need Latvian. Yes. And the most interesting thing about Russian speakers is that many of them are not from Russia and they are not Russians. They have gained the Russian language while living in Latvia in those times. Interesting, right? And what percent of Riga is Russian? Quite big. 40% for sure. If you will go to any cafes, public places, transport, you will hear Russian language everywhere. So be prepared to learn some basic phrases in Latvian or Russian. Thank you for watching this video. If you have any questions or comments or recommendations, please drop them down below in a comment section. Otherwise, I will see you in the next video. Ciao, ciao! Visu labu!